So welcome back to Fail from a Fray. For today's case, we are going to Iowa. If my memory serves me correctly, I think this is probably the first case we're ever covering out of Iowa. I didn't think I would cover a case out of Iowa pretty soon, but this case apparently is pretty well known, considering how young our victim is and with how graphic the case is. And so with that being said, obviously, just like any other video, if you know anybody involved in the case, if you're related to anybody in the case, definitely let me know. Sources down below as always. I'm gonna quit my rambling and let's go and get started. So we're gonna start off with Sterling. Sterling Daniel Cohn was born on May 1st, 2017 to his father, Zach Cohn, which is where he got his last name, and Cheyenne Harris. So to start off with the dad, Zachary Paul Cohn was born on October 6th, 1989. At 16, it said apparently he was kicked out of the house for smoking and drinking. So then he would go get a trucker job at 17, like at this point, and pretty much he started using like pills in order to stay up because obviously, truckers are working long hours. He would eventually meet a woman named Sherry. They apparently get married. They have a kid together. The kid would wind up going into custody of his parents, and then he and Sherry ultimately divorced. So then when he's 25, he winds up meeting 17-year-old Cheyenne Harris. She was born February 17th, 1997. It said that within a year of them being together, apparently they are living in Louisiana, and they have a daughter together named Nala, and she was born November 15th, 2015. So I guess apparently Cheyenne was from Iowa because she started getting homesick, and then they moved to Riceville, Iowa, and then Alla Vista, where the story takes place. So then Zachary basically gets a job hauling chickens overnight, and like I said, obviously that's long hours, so he's over using the pills again. Somehow he gets introduced to meth and then brings Cheyenne into it. And they're both now apparently using meth daily. So it said that Cheyenne apparently got pregnant with Sterling in the summer of 2016. And then, like I said, May 1st, 2017, apparently she was actually at a party, and apparently she gave birth to Sterling in the bathtub at this friend's party. And so Sterling apparently was born with water and human waste in his lungs. He also apparently was detected for drugs, which normally they would take the kids away or at least get CPS involved. Apparently, despite this, Cheyenne was released from the hospital a week after giving birth to Sterling, and no reports were apparently made. So then at one point, for whatever reason, Zach apparently would doubt that he was the father of Sterling. I didn't say whether they took a DNA test to confirm he was the father, but apparently he doubted paternity at one point. Cheyenne apparently would have a friend named Jennifer who regularly watched the kids. She would give Jennifer a book of instructions to watch said kids. Remember, it's not just Sterling, it's also his big sister Nyla. And then she would claim that he had an allergy in the formula, and that's why he's underweight. Because I guess Jennifer had brought up out of concern, reasonably so, and she told him he was allergic to something in the formula. So on the fateful day of August 30th, 2017, Zach apparently comes home at like 3:34 in the morning, and apparently he feeds Nyla. He would later say that, Cheyenne claimed that she fed Sterling. That's why I hadn't went and checked on him, even though he's like 3 months old. And so apparently he would claim that Cheyenne woke him up at 11 a.m. saying that he's dead. So then they proceed to take out the trash, and they send their dog over to a neighbor's because apparently the apartments they were living in, they weren't supposed to have dogs. So then Zach calls 911 and immediately suggests SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, as to how the baby died. Because SIDS is a legit thing. There are infants that do die from that, and he is 3 months old, so he would be within that age range of kids you normally see die from it. Apparently he would claim that, I would have called 911 sooner, but I didn't have cell service in order to call y'all, even though apparently it is like legally required for you to be able to call 911 even if you don't have no service. Because that's like an emergency situation, and we don't need people dying just because they didn't have service. So just thought that was interesting. Apparently, Sterling is found in his swing in his bedroom. He weighs less than 7 pounds. Keep in mind, he's 3 months old. And 7 pounds, that's about how much a newborn weighs. So severely underweight. So cause of death, of course, is dehydration, malnutrition, and infection. He had a diaper rash with wounds that were so severe that they were basically like open wounds on the skin. His backside had apparently come off completely, and E. coli was found in his system. Maggots were also found in his body in various stages, and it's believed that he had been there for at least 9 days before anyone medical-wise got to him. So then, as you can imagine, there were some people that came out and said, I didn't even know Sterling even existed. And granted, he was only like 3 months old, but the fact that you didn't know this whole ass child existed, but you knew this couple, like that's crazy if you think about it. And so then apparently there's like this man named Jordan Clark. Apparently he gets with Cheyenne after Sterling died because they weren't arrested right away. And Zach found out, but he still stayed with Cheyenne. And apparently this Jordan guy apparently knew that Sterling was dead, how he died and all that. And yet still got with Cheyenne anyway. So then, of course, eventually Sterling's cause of death would be upgraded to homicide. And on October 5th, both Cheyenne and Zach were charged with first-degree murder. And Cheyenne's defense lawyer, attorney, lawyer, whatever, basically says that she was suffering from postpartum depression. and that she was medicating herself with drugs, and that's how she let her child basically like die. And prosecution pretty much was like, well, how come Nyla's so fine? Because they would take care of Nyla. She was perfectly fine, but Sterling over here is suffering. So like, make it make sense, you know? And then Cheyenne's mother apparently had to testify at trial, but she's like, can you just show like the audio? Like, don't release my face to the public, because apparently Cheyenne's mother apparently was getting death threats. I don't know, it's because like, oh, your daughter's a killer, so you're not better off because, you know, you created her. But for whatever reason, she's getting death threats, so like, don't show my face, but you can use my voice. So then Cheyenne and Zach are obviously sentenced to life in prison without parole for murder and endangerment of a child. There apparently would be a documentary where they go to the prison where Cheyenne was staying at, and they interview her, and she's saying how her life's a living hell, she's getting bullied. And in the documentary, they don't really talk about like what she is even in there for. So then, of course, the documentary comes out. There's like outrage. Apparently, it becomes like this big deal, and because there's people that apparently have sympathy for her, but then they looked up obviously what she did, because, you know, that's public record, and they were like, oh, well, you know, you deserve to get bullied, you deserve to get beat up, because apparently there was points where apparently multiple girls were ganging up on her at once, and she pretty much was playing victim. So as you can imagine, there's like outrage because of this. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this case. Like I said, pretty well-known case, very tragic case. If anybody knows anybody involved, definitely let me know. If anybody has a similar case to this, definitely let me know. I cover fatal females 3 times a week. Subscribe for more fatal females, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion, even though I offer all of the solutions. I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless, I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt, never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm, I can feel the sweat inside my palm. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my get